Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. This is episode number 36 of our weekly board game and video game focused podcast. My name is David, and I'm your host, joined, as always, by my brother Devin, 6 weeks in a row in the casa. No more virtual podcast, Devin. This seems to be kind of a flow we like. I kind of like it.
I agree. I don't know why, but I like doing this in person.
It seems a little... I don't know, kind of like a social event a little bit. Whereas like staring at the computer screen for a couple hours, even though I could see your face, felt different.
Yeah, it really, really does. I don't know why, but I'm liking this as well. Although I do a decent bit of driving to do this.
That is true.
I mean, it's not that bad, but...
Yeah. On a good day, 20 minutes. On a bad day, longer.
Yes, it can be much... it can be much longer, but...
Yeah, traffic.
Yeah, we are back. We were here 2 days ago. 3 days ago.
What day was that? Saturday? Sunday? I don't know.
Sunday.
I think it was Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is Wednesday. We're back to the normal schedule. Who knows? Hopefully, with the holidays, nothing else will interfere, but we'll see. But yeah. Devin, in the last 3 days, anything new or exciting?
Today was a weird day. I was kind of telling you about it. I'm running on like no sleep, but
we've got a feeling.
Second serving of pre-workout for today, so we're going to be feeling good here in a moment. Let's see what I do this week. Oh, I transitioned from 2005 skinny jeans to 2024 baggy jeans.
Wow.
And it's weird, just so you know.
I believe it. I'm still in the like halfway skinny jean phase, and I don't know if I could get myself to buy one of those because I feel like I'd look like a doofus.
Well, I went with our brother, and he knows the style and all the swag for...
You went with our second youngest brother?
Yes.
Okay.
For Rismus to get all the... He's got all the lingo, and we were in the dressing room.
For Rismus?
I didn't know what my waist size was or the length, so we had to try 4 different sizes. We had to try 2 different waists, 2 different lengths in combinations.
Right.
But we ended up liking a size, and they are so much baggier than any pants I've worn in 15 years. And I'm like, oh man, this is strange, but I didn't hate how it looked. He thought I was rocking it. And so we left the store, we figured out the size, and on Tuesday went to their website, and Cyber Monday was still going on through Tuesday. So I got pants for $21.99 instead of $50 each.
Nice.
I was like, oh yeah.
Love a deal.
So that's probably like the 3rd item of clothing I've bought in 5 years.
Yeah, I don't buy clothing very often either. It is usually pants when I buy something, but I do know my measurements and I just buy them online. And then they ship here. But I do need to try on some less skinny, kind of more, I don't know. I can't go full baggy, I don't think, but just kind of like a straight leg or something. I don't know.
Yeah, straight's not bad. I'm kind of digging like the whole cargo look nowadays. They're bringing back like the side pockets, the big square side pockets.
So weird.
And I don't know. I kind of understand it. I understand all of the eras of style.
Very cyclical.
Cyclical?
Yeah. Like
icicle?
Icicle. It'll rotate back in, right?
Oh, it does.
Like skinny will be back in eventually. So if I just wait long enough with my skinny jeans, I'll be fine.
Well, yes, you will. You'll be trending. But there is something with the baggier jeans, so much more comfortable.
Oh, I believe it.
It's insane. I couldn't even believe it. I was like...
Wearing a, I don't even know, parachute.
Exactly. It was just free. Everything was free. So I did that. Did a little Christmas shopping for one of our siblings. We draw names every year, so I got to do that.
Fun stuff.
Found a really nice keyboard at TJ Maxx, and he wanted a mouse and keyboard. You know, the Raw Cat brand? It's what I have, actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
They claim it was like $120, but it was on sale for like 40.
Hmm.
And it was white, and it like had all these rainbow colors. So I was like, you might like that.
Cool.
So I don't know. I might get it. I don't know. We'll see.
Nice.
What else did I do? Just fitness stuff. Our mom, for anybody that doesn't know, she doesn't sleep very well. And so she has ordered like hundreds of dollars of all these different supplements.
Mm-hmm.
And like cordyceps and
cordyceps.
Is that mushrooms?
Yeah, it's like the type of mushroom that turns into the Last of Us creatures.
Yeah, she was acting weird last night. So no, but she's trying all of these things. There's this company called Mudwater. And they throw like all this stuff in there. So I was stoked because I love supplements.
Okay.
And I was like, can I try some of these things? Not the ones for sleep, but so I've been doing all the stuff. Shilajit, turmeric, lion's mane, all the mushrooms.
Lion's mane, is that a plant?
That's a mushroom.
It's a mushroom.
It's a nootropic which is like brain health or something. I don't know. But nothing's worked yet. She's like trying the CBD stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shoot, one of these doctors is going to get so fed up, he's going to try to put you on THC. And she said, I'm going to take it at this point.
That's funny. Yeah, that'd be a frustrating thing. I feel
infuriating.
Bad. I've never had problems falling asleep. Maybe like a single, like 1 or 2 days in my whole life.
Yeah.
Right. Because usually it's like a 2-minute affair falling asleep. But yeah, that'd be rough. Well, that probably pairs well with you, Devin. You have your own Shilajit, and then you're, testing all these other ones. It's just supplement heaven over there.
Oh, it's amazing. On my way here, I was like, dang, am I like way healthy right now?
Or your intestines are just full of so many supplements. It's like sand in there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in my body, but
yeah,
still on that grind. Still watching movies. I watched a dumb movie on Netflix. Well, it wasn't that dumb. It was like Run All Night. We Run All Night. Liam Neeson and I don't know. Look, it was bleh.
Ever since Taken came out, which I thought was a great movie,
yeah,
Liam Neeson has basically been that guy.
He's the same guy. Yeah, pretty sure that
for every movie.
Yeah. Every time he's on a plane, a train.
Mm-hmm. What other things can we stick him in? A space shuttle. I don't know if we've done that.
Yeah, he's like
Jason Statham.
Jason.
Yeah.
He's like Jason. Every time.
I feel like Mel Gibson and Kevin Costner have also like kind of gone down that road a little bit, but I think Liam Neeson, other than Jason Statham, are like the two most used. I can't even imagine how many movies he's been in. And I really like Liam Neeson. I think he's a great actor. He's incredible in Schindler's List, and love him in Star Wars. I think he's excellent in basically everything he's in. But I can't imagine that some of these like movies that are Taken ripoffs are very good.
Yeah, and this was fine.
And I can't imagine the paychecks he's getting are like humongous from all of those, right? I'm sure like he's the star and the key ship. But if the movie is, going straight to video and it made $10 million, how much are they going to pay him? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't think very much.
Yeah.
Whereas like you got actors like Robert Downey Jr., making $100 million for a Marvel movie because he took like, instead of a salary, he took, what do they call it? Like, oh, there's a word for it. He basically gets a percentage of the percentage of the amount made. And so he's just made like a ton from that. And so he's made like fewer bets, but really big ones. Whereas Liam Neeson and Jason Statham are like, I'm going to take 1 million bets. But I imagine a lot of them are pretty small ones. But hey, you know what? I'll go for it. It's not like I can go to a movie set and say, I want $2 million and I'm going to act grumpy for 3 months while we film this movie. So more power to him.
Yeah, I don't know what the strategy is.
I don't either. Flood the market. Flood the Liam Neeson market.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear his name, I also think of that dumb, like, Vine meme. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's Nissan. Liam Neeson's Nissan, a Nissan, a Nissan, Nissan. I don't even know the whole...
I don't know that.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Oh. Google Liam Neeson Vine, and I'm pretty sure it will come up. It like shows a picture of Liam Neeson, and then it's like Liam Neeson's knee son, and it's like his knee. Then it's Liam Neeson's knees on a Nissan.
Oh,
Nissan, a Nissan. And it's really dumb. It's 6 seconds of your life you won't get back, and neither are the 2 minutes I just spent talking about it.
No, I like it. Speaking of Nissan always does they do more than any other brand to make their cars look super unique, or they come up with like a super weird name for a model, like the Nissan Juke.
Oh yeah, those are weird.
Or that's the only one I can think of. So, but they've done that a lot in the past. Jaguar just full rebranded. Do you see that?
I didn't.
Very interesting. Very modern. Kind of looks like the font of a modern coffee shop. And that, I don't know, wild change. I don't know much about it, but
I feel like they've had that like side view of a Jaguar logo forever.
That's completely gone. There's no animal. It's just the letters.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good approach. I don't know.
There's got to be marketing people that are very smart. But when companies that have like such a big reputation, like Jaguar or HBO, for example, like rebrand and change their name or like their logo drastically, I have to like kind of think like, what are you doing? Like, if I'm like, I really want to watch HBO. Oh, it doesn't exist anymore, but there is this new thing called Max. Like what? What?
Oh yeah, every person had to transition that in their mind and go, oh, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. And there's probably still some people that have no idea where their HBO went, and they were just like, well, we don't have a subscription to Max, so I'm not going to click on that app.
Right. Seems weird. But there must have been like some metrics where they were like, well, we want to step away from the HBO name a little bit. Maybe have some more family-friendly content on Max or something. I don't know what they were trying to do, but a big name change seems risky to me.
Yeah, very weird.
Especially when, like, they're big names with, like, high quality, like HBO, and I assume Jaguar. I don't know very much about their cars, but... yeah, kind of crazy. I feel like a lot of companies have been doing that. I think Facebook's is different. They kind of needed to stay relevant with Meta and kind of focusing on VR and stuff, but... I don't know.
What do you think about the Ray-Ban smart glasses? Did we talk about these at all?
I have not seen these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They look crazy.
Do they?
I don't know what they do, but they look crazy.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll have to look.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
That before next episode, but it's probably kind of like a VR headset just in the glasses. So it's probably augmented reality, which is basically just you're still seeing real life, but it's projecting things into real life for you. So like your computer. That'd be cool though. If I could say, Ray-Ban, show me directions to, I don't know, the Cinemark, and
Tom Cruise like walks you to the Cinemark.
Yeah, exactly.
You just follow him. It just puts him in your vision. That'd be sick.
We're both like flying on the side of an airplane.
Oh, 100%. You're both on motorcycles and
jumping off cliffs.
And he can run forever, so most likely you're not keeping up. So.
Yeah, that's true. They turned that app on and like 40 people died the first day.
Yeah. He's like, let's take the fun route. You don't have a parachute.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I haven't seen those, but I'll have to look. On my side, I didn't do much, but I don't think we talked about this on Sunday, but on Saturday, I went to a Jazz game.
You did?
NBA professional basketball game. I really like the Jazz. They are in a rebuilding phase and have been for a couple of years, so they are terrible and have been for a couple of years. And it seems like it's going to be a few more.
Oh, yeah.
It seems really dire. We have one really great player. Lauri Markkanen, he's amazing. We just signed him to like a big new contract. He's great. Almost seems like wasted potential though.
Oh yeah, he'll have grandchildren by the time the Jazz are good.
Yeah, but anyways, regardless, we went to a game which was fun. Mom and Dad got tickets, and so I got to go for free, which was very lucky. I took my oldest son, and it was actually in a suite, which was fun. And usually the suites are like you have the lower bowl, then the suites, in like the suite deck and then the upper bowl. But this was a new thing for the Jazz Arena called a corner suite. And they're about halfway up the lower bowl in the four corners. And there's like 2 suite rooms behind the seats, and then you walk out kind of an aisle to your seats. And so you're just kind of sitting like on row 12 or 15. But then there's like glass around it a little bit, so nobody else can come in. Very fun. Fun to go into a thing that would have cost, $200-300 a person for free. Because that's definitely the only way I could afford to do that. That is one thing. If I lived downtown and I was wealthy, I would definitely have season tickets, because it is it's a fun experience to be in there.
Oh yeah, it's a vibe. I'm just shopping. We have like outdoor malls here in Utah, and they've kind of tapped into that idea that Disney does. Like, let's put music everywhere and fun fountains and furnaces and fire. And I was like, oh, this is a vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to do this more.
Did you go to City Creek?
No, just Mountain View.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yes, I imagine the Jazz game was just like high energy, a lot of noise, and it takes you somewhere different than sitting in your living room.
Yeah. Yep. So it was fun to get out. We played the Dallas Mavericks, which was actually a pretty fun game. Or I mean, it would be if the Jazz were competitive in any fashion. But got to see Kyrie Irving just absolutely mop the floor with us, just destroy us. Which was crazy because he looks so short out there compared to the other dudes. I mean, they're all pretty tall. I'm 6'5", and Kyrie's only a few inches shorter than me, probably. He's 6 foot or 6'1" or something, I think. And everyone else is just huge. But yeah, man, so good. It's crazy the difference. I mean, they're all like professional athletes and extremely good at basketball. They're like the 400 best people in the world are in the NBA.
It is crazy.
But then even amongst that subset of basketball players, you have like the ultra elite, like a Kyrie, and just watching him out there, you're like, he's on another level than even the rest of these dudes.
Yeah, it's like Steph Curry. That man is ridiculous to watch.
He is, yeah.
It's super fun to watch. It's like an art. It's not just I can shoot well, but also I can fake out 350 of the 400 best players at any time that I want. It's very, very impressive. It reminds me of video games. You have Rocket League players, and then you have the top tier Rocket League players, and or any game. You have clicks from Fortnite and those guys, and it's outrageous what they can do in those games.
Yeah, yep, it is. Seeing the best in the world at something's kind of fun.
It is.
Luka Doncic was there as well, but he's got like a hurt wrist or something, so he didn't play, but I saw him in his sweatpants and sweater.
Did he hurt his wrist complaining to the ref?
Maybe. He definitely did not need to play against the Jazz, so I'm sure they were like, not a high priority game. His wrist is still broken. But next week it's miraculously better. So yeah, that was fun. Got some ice cream. Got a foam finger. That's about it.
All you could ever need.
Yeah, ice cream and foam finger, baby. That's probably all that's new for me, though. Other than that, it's still just been busy at work, busy on board game stuff. Need to film more reviews. Just there's not enough time in the day. Then Thanksgiving, prepping for Christmas. And I feel like I had one more thing I was going to say. One more thing that was making me busy, but I can't remember what it was. I'm so busy. So who knows? But yeah, lots of good stuff here on December. What's today? 4th? December 4th.
I think so, yeah.
2024. Well, Devin, I think that'll get us into the show here. Like I mentioned at the top, this is the Super Game Brothers podcast. We do it each and every week and have been for 36 weeks now. We talk about board games and video games, a little kind of touch on the news in those industries, and then talk about the games that we've been playing. We play a lot of games. A lot. This week might seem like a little fewer because it's only been 3 days since we were last in the same room talking about them, but we play a lot of games. We have a lot of board games, have a lot of video games, and we're just always playing. So it's fun to talk about them. We also do have a Patreon. So if you could check that out at patreon.com/supergamebrothers, that would help us out a ton. You can follow that Patreon totally for free to kind of follow along with the kind of the flow and the posts going up there. But if you do throw us a few dollars, you can get early access to the show. You can write in questions and comments to the show. You can tell us all about your favorite flavor of milk or what your favorite game is. Ask us questions, whatever. And we'll talk about it on the show. So lots of fun perks over there. Make sure to check that out. Devin, I've changed up the show flow just a tiny bit again. As we continue to morph, and I think it will just kind of find its own, but I've moved the news mini-nuke to be the actual news section.
Oh, okay.
Towards
cool.
the end. So the news will maybe be a little more mini. I don't think that being like a news show like CNN, we're definitely not talking about that kind of news.
No.
The CNN of video games is not what I want to be.
40 die after new Ray-Bans.
Yeah, exactly.
With Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise being sued by 40 families. So I don't know. We'll touch on important things, but I mainly want it to just be like fun and laughing and talking about fun games we're playing. So a little bit of a switch up here, but we are going to still have this opening segment, which is new games to subscription services. There are a lot of subscription services. You got PlayStation Plus, you got Game Pass, Nintendo Online. There are probably some on PC as well. If you have Amazon Prime, you get stuff. If you have an Epic Game Store account, you get a free game or two every week. So lots of new games are cycling in. So we're going to go over the new ones for this week/month. So I'm going to go over to the computer screen here, and we will go over those. I think first up this week, there is a new trial if you have PlayStation Plus Premium, so only the highest tier. You can play 2 hours of the fairly brand new Space Marine 2 on PlayStation Plus Premium, which is supposed to be an excellent game. Kind of reminds me of Gears of War in how like the combat move is third person. You kind of have a big like slow dude with lots of guns. I think there is even a chainsaw on one of the guns, much like Gears of War. So
I think it's a perfect strategy by them because it's perfect for me, at least, because I don't know anything about Space Marine.
Yeah, or Warhammer.
But I've heard really good reviews, and it's like, hey, we're going to give you 2 hours to taste this, basically. And it might sell a lot of people.
I think so, too. The game's supposed to be excellent, and it has like a full campaign, has a full co-op mode, has a full multiplayer mode. Kind of reminds me of like old school Call of Duty or like Halo that has like complete different segments.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. I'm excited to try that one out. So definitely check that out if you have PlayStation Plus Premium. I think that's the only PlayStation related one this week because we went over the other PlayStation ones last week.
Yes, we do have Game Pass here.
We do. Yep. Xbox announced their update, which is a pretty good one because there is a big game. And actually quite a few here, and sorry for the train honking if you can hear that. But they've got quite a few games joining Game Pass Ultimate, and a couple of them also joining Game Pass Core, I think they call it, kind of the lower version. So here's a little sneak peek at the list, and then we're going to scroll down through these. You got Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled on today, December 4th. That one's coming to Ultimate, Standard, and Core, so no matter which version of Game Pass you have.
Is that a sequel to?
It's a full remake.
Really?
Have you not played it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh man, I own it. It's wonderful. Really, really great.
Dude, Neo Cortex is freaking such a cool character.
He is cool.
Look at him.
I loved that white polar bear growing up. I don't know why. Yeah, Crash Team Racing is by far my favorite kart racer. Mario Kart 8, 64 and Wii are also like so good.
I almost think the Mario Kart games play a little better. It's just Crash Team Racing and Crash in general is so nostalgic, and those games were difficult and such a childhood memory that I would agree with this.
Yeah, I agree with that statement too. Mario Kart is definitely like a smoother entry point, and anyone can just hop in and play. This game is much more like a bit of a step up in like complexity and more going on.
The drifting's insane.
The drifting's crazy.
It's sharp, isn't it?
It is, and you have to watch a meter. And you can use either trigger. If you use R1, then you'll use L1, and you have to push it at like these increments when this like meter hits the edge of this track to get little mini boosts before you get a big one. And so you're like, it's an active kind of turbo instead of like in Mario Kart, you just hold your drift until the lights turn blue or purple or whatever. So there's a bit more going on that way. I think the weapons are a little trickier to use, as like just like you said. They're, I don't know. They have things similar to like the bananas and like missiles with the bombs, and there actually are missiles. And instead of bananas, they're little like potion vials. I feel like you have to be a little more accurate with them in order to use them better. But yeah, such a great game. The remake is very, very pretty. And you can like customize your cart and change your characters and stuff. It's really fun. So definitely check that one out. I think it is super great. Next up, Forza Motorsport. I don't know which one that is. It just says Forza Motorsport. Which one do you think that is? Is there a picture? Is that the latest one? Or is that like the... It can't be the first one. Maybe that's what the latest one was called. I swear it was like called Forza 7 though.
I'm unsure.
I am as well. Figure that out by going to Game Pass, it'll tell you. One called Haunty. Play as a brave yet naive little ghost and set off on a quest guided by enigmatic Eternians. You know what those are.
Absolutely. Yeah. I saw some on my way here.
It said solve puzzles, so I might at least glance at a trailer. Humanity. This is a pretty crazy and fun puzzle game where you're this corgi and you have to like send this parade of humans across these puzzle levels to get to the ending. Very odd, but it's actually fun. I liked it. EA Sports WRC. What's that stand for? World Rally Cup?
Rally cars?
Rally cars? I don't know exactly. But
Wicked, really cool.
Wicked, really cool. That one is tomorrow in EA Play, or it's the EA Play version on Ultimate and PC Game Pass. Then Overthrown, which just says, oh, it does have something here. Available on day one. Lift and throw anything as you build and manage your kingdom in this chaotic city builder with up to 6-player co-op. And then definitely the big one this month is the newest game from Xbox's own internal teams since they purchased Bethesda, who owns Machine Games, and Microsoft now owns them all. So big game from them. They did what's the series they did? The newest Wolfenstein first-person shooters that are supposed to be excellent. I just haven't played them. But this is their newest game, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, with Troy Baker as Indiana. He looks just like young Harrison Ford. I think the review embargo is tomorrow, so we'll probably know next week if it's reviewed pretty well. But I'm excited for that one. I love Indiana Jones, at least the first 3 movies. And I'm excited to check this one on PlayStation when it comes out in the spring.
Did you watch the newest Indiana Jones?
I didn't. I've heard
it's worth the watch. It's interesting.
I've heard it's a lot better than the Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf and the monkey swinging. But yeah, I haven't. I do need to check that one out. That's something like the Golden Compass, something like that. This next one is one I've actually almost purchased many times. It's called Wild Frost, and it kind of looks like Slay the Spire. It's a tactical roguelike deck builder. And there's not a picture, but you can see it kind of has this anime art style. Not anime. Indie art style is what I meant. It kind of does look anime. But I think that one looks cool. That's the one I would be most excited about, I think, at this point, until Indiana Jones comes out on the 9th. But I guess this one doesn't come out till the 10th, so I don't know what I'm saying. Then Carry On, which is a pretty well-liked Metroidvania where you play as, instead of a good guy, you play as like an alien that has escaped from like a testing center, and you're like absorbing all the humans and like, but it is a Metroidvania, I believe. Road 96, excuse me, on January 7th. I don't know what that one is. Beautiful road trip. On this risky road trip to the border, you'll meet incredible characters. So there you go. And these 3 are coming to Game Pass Core on December 4th. That is Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, we just talked about, Daisy, and Goat Simulator. So, some good games in there if you have Game Pass, in my opinion. Check out what was it called? Wild Frost and Indiana Joint.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones and Crash Team Racing, for sure. All right. So Nintendo has a couple. This first one, surprising no one, given our conversation from last week. Donkey Kong Land 3 is also coming to Nintendo Switch Online after Donkey Kong Land and number 2 both did within a few days of each other. So very cool. I like that they've made these 3 games basically looking as close as they could to Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. So this one has like the baby character as well. Donkey Kong Country 3 gets a little bit of hate for not being as good as the first 2. I still really like it.
Yeah, I played a lot of it like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, I've played it pretty recently as well.
You're an elephant and you like go to the pond and you suck up all the water and
right.
Like
it has some weird enemies and stuff, but I really enjoy it. I think it's good.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually fully beat it.
Oh, really?
No. But I've definitely beat multiple bosses in it.
Yeah.
It's also, I wouldn't say they added open world, but it's more...
Yeah.
It's less linear. It's like, oh, you can find a secret if you drive your little boat.
Yeah, between the levels, there's like an overworld map, and you can explore around it a little bit. Like there might be a lake or an area you can kind of explore edges and play some levels out of order sometimes, I think. So it is very cool.
Who's your favorite Donkey Kong character?
Diddy.
I think I might choose Dixie.
Yeah, she's cool.
She is cool. But Diddy, I mean, he's unreal.
Yeah, he is cool. So that one's available, I think, now. Yeah, available now. And then the next one is an update to the Game Boy app for Nintendo Switch Online, and that's the NES version of Tetris is coming to Nintendo Switch Online on December 12th. So next week. Yeah, I think so. I know people really love the Game Boy version of Tetris. I haven't played the NES version of Tetris, so I don't know if it's also well loved. I would imagine it's probably got more colors and sounds and stuff being on the home console. But anyways, that version on the 12th will be on what's it called? Nintendo Switch Online. Next up, we've got 2 games this week for Epic Game Store. Last week's was Brotato, and this week the 2 games are Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop. If you, I guess, want a simulator where you are driving a bus, it says enjoy many game improvements and a brand new game mode with this comprehensive update. These simulator games, man, they are so popular.
It's wild. I haven't really dove into this genre.
I haven't either, but I mean, there's like farming simulator that people love, and then there's like the truck driving simulator. Power wash simulator was pretty hot.
Well, imagine being like the guy that has the most hours in Goat Simulator.
Yeah, that one is very kind of making fun of the simulator thing a little bit. The next free game on the Epic Game Store is a big one, in my opinion. This is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is the version of Lego Star Wars that came out, I think, just a year or 2 ago. Yeah, April of 2022. And it has all 9 games in it. So you can play the entire Star Wars, what do you call a 9 trilogy? 9-ilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty good. I like Lego games. It's hard for me to play that much Lego content, though. I'd have to play that like over a year. Like play one of the games with my kids over a couple weeks and then take a break or something. But they're a fun time, especially if you're introducing like new people to video games. Then I think they're pretty good. So make sure to add those to your library. And then the last thing we have here for subscription services this week is Amazon finally posted their list of all of the games that will be included with Amazon Prime for this month, the month of December. And there's quite a few. We'll pull it up any second. The link hates us. Oh,
it does.
Oh, there it is. We got it on the iPad, but it's not thrown to the screen. Here we go. There's quite a few, so I'll go through these kind of quickly, but the highlights are here. I think Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Dredge, Overcooked 2, Tomb Raider Underworld, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and Predator Hunting Grounds are kind of their headliners that they're showing in this image. So there's quite a few. Available now, you have Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which we saw up above. I'm pretty sure I've played that one a little bit on like when it originally came out. Tomb Raider Underworld, Overcooked 2, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, Dredge. Those are all available now. They were all good old games codes. On December 5th, that's tomorrow, so when you're hearing this, Quake 2 is free. And also December 5th, Disney Pixar's WALL-E, if you wanted to play WALL-E. Then on this is awesome. I've been wanting to play this one. This makes me happy. It wasn't in the picture. Didn't know this was here until this moment. Planet of Lana, or Lana, is on December 12th. And that's kind of a side-scroller that reminds me of Limbo and Inside a little bit. Different company, but it's supposed to be really solid. So I'm excited to play that one. I've been waiting to buy it until it was on a good enough sale. But free is Amazing. As good a sale as any. So I'll just play that on my Rogue Ally, baby. Heroes Hour is an accessible yet deep and content-rich strategy role-playing game. I don't know what that one is, but also on the 12th, The Coma Recut, if you wanted to go back into your coma. And Electrician Simulator. Take on the electrician role and learn the profession's basics. Install sockets, repair worn-out equipment, assemble broken appliances, and replace light bulbs. Just continuing our simulator vibe here. Redrawn, the Painted Tower Collector's Edition. I'm imagining that's probably like a puzzle adventure game or something. 9 Witches Family Disruption. And some of these, I don't know what they are. Predator Hunting Grounds, we talked about. That one's on Epic Game Store on the 19th. Aces of the Luftwaffe Squadron Extended Edition. Simulacros, Fight the Evil Corp from the Inside. Christmas Fables, the Magic Snowflake Collector's Edition. Magic Snowflake.
And Simulacros? Remember Simulacrum?
Yes, I think.
Name that video game.
Simulacrum. Oh, it's a currency that you have to spend. What is the game? Is it Borderlands?
It is Remnants.
Oh, Remnant. Okay. Yep, you're right.
You were close.
Lots of weird currencies in those ones. Then The Town of Light, a psychological adventure told in the first person. So lots of games in there. Some of them, I'll let you decide which ones are skippable or not. But I am Planet of Lana is my pick of the month, since I've already played Dredge, which is excellent. If you haven't played that, or Overcooked, play those. They're great. All right, Devin, I think that is everything for, what is this section called? It's
subscriptions.
New games to subscription services. We need a better name for that, but we'll come up with that later. So now for what we've been playing. Devin, I've been playing basically 3 games. 2 of them we can go through really quickly because I've kind of mentioned them over the last few weeks, but I'm still playing Arranger. I still think I'm in like the last-ish area, so I'm guessing I will finish that one pretty imminently. Still really like it. I'm excited to see how it what kind of bow it ties on that package. Is it going to be a bow where I'm like, didn't love that ending, and it pulls it down to like a 7 out of 10? Or is it like a great bow, and I'm like, oh, that was excellent. Like, 8.5, 9. I don't know. We'll see. See how it comes together. But I've liked it so far. I've also played VR2 a little bit more. Haven't had a ton of time to do that, but played a little bit more Pistol Whip. I don't even think I'll throw it up on the screen for a second, I guess, just in case anybody hasn't seen that one. But a really fun game where, kind of in Guitar Hero fashion, you're going straight down the middle of this path, and you have to take out all of these enemies John Wick style and avoid their bullets. And if you fire to the beat of the song, you get bonus points. So you're trying to set the best score you can, and you feel like a total gangsta doing it.
Straight up.
Yeah. Very, very fun game. So, and I did buy like 5 more VR2 games that were on Black Friday sale this last week, so excited to check those out as well. All right, Devin, I started a new game, which we hinted at last week, that just barely came out on PlayStation. I'm loving the heck out of it. I only started it yesterday because we talked, what did we talk, 3 days ago? I think is when you were last here. But I started Nine Souls. This is a Taiwanese Metroidvania game that has gotten a lot of buzz this year. Just barely came to PlayStation. It had a very small launch week discount, and so I decided to get it. Man, it's awesome. I'm probably 6 hours in so far. I'm on the second main boss. I've only tried the second main boss once and got absolutely wrecked.
Like, not even close?
Oh yeah, not even close. This game is very difficult.
Awesome. I like that.
But I think eventually you'll get to a point where you're so good at it that it's not difficult for you anymore, because there's quite a bit going on. You have a parry, which is incredibly important. I really like some of the systems in this game. You have a green health bar. If you get hit while you're trying to parry, but your parry wasn't perfectly timed, you take what's called internal damage, and part of your green health bar will shade dark red. And that internal damage can continue to stack if you continue to do imperfect parries. And so I've had a lot of times where my health was basically full, but I'm in this intense fight with a boss, and I've done a lot of imperfect parries, so I've got a ton of internal damage. And then if you get actually hit once, it takes all of that internal damage.
Does that internal damage regen over time?
It does regen.
It's just like time. Remnant again. Remnant has gray health.
Yeah, exactly.
And it can regen.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really cool system in the game. But because of that, man, that parry is so important to not miss, especially on the bosses who hit so hard. If you're getting a lot of internal damage, you're just gonna have a combo where the boss boom boom hits you twice and you're done.
Are you invulnerable while dashing?
You are while dashing, yes, but dash is a different button than the parry. So parry's L1, dash is R2.
Do you think you could beat the game with 0 parries and just dashing?
I think you could, but it does incentivize the parry. And I don't even remember what they call this system. But on the top left of your screen, you have this little hollow circle. And if you do a perfect parry, it fills up and you get, I think they call it a talisman. And then you can use R1 and you can assign different talisman effects to this. But the one you start the game with is R1 does a special dash where you dash through the character and attach a bomb to them. But that bomb will only explode if you hold R1, basically commit to that parry for another half a second, and your character's just kind of standing still at that point. So by using the perfect parry, you get this cool talisman system that those do a lot of damage with that talisman thing. But you have to find a good window to use it where you're going to have enough time to kind of explode that bomb. And that's some of the combat system is on those triggers, because you got L1 for parry, R2 for your dodges, because there are red attacks that you can't parry, right? So you have to be dodging or jumping sometimes. Then eventually you unlock a jump attack, and the way that they do that is jump and then the parry button, L1. And then there are some enemies that will do a red undefendable attack, but also they will turn green at the same time. And if you do that jump attack to them, avoiding their red attack, it's like an ultra counter. There's a lot going on.
Reminds me of Sekiro. There were specific times where an icon would pop up and you could just dodge it, or you could push forward and parry at the same time and step on their spear or whatever. The
coolest move in that game for sure. The Mikiri counter, I think is what it's called. I played that beginning of that pretty recently, but this is the first boss that we're seeing here. Very tough. This video you're watching, he is definitely playing on story mode, not on standard mode.
This is easier.
This is way easier.
Interesting.
I died to this boss probably 20 times. And again, it's a tough fight. I bet the fight to do it, to succeed at it, unless you're like really good at the game or over leveled or really know how to like perfectly combo all your stuff, it's about a 10-minute fight. And he has 2 phases. And if you if you mess up for even a second, take too much internal damage, and then misread something and he hits you, that's like your whole life bar. So yeah, it's fun to watch here on story mode, but this is not the experience you'll have. It's much more difficult, which I appreciate. I actually like it. I like that.
Agreed.
I feel like you can get to a point where you've like fully mastered like the when to parry and when to oh, it looks like story mode doesn't even have a second phase.
Well, he did get his health down all the way, just barely, and he like jumped back for a minute.
Oh, he did. Okay, never mind. Freak out for no reason there, but man, this game's awesome. Surprisingly violent.
Really?
I think the way they get away with it, because I think it's only rated T. But like the opening scene is your character basically almost dead, drenched in blood, and half of your brain is hanging out. But I think they're kind of like all cyborg characters that have like robot internals, but it is red. So I don't know. My son was like, "Dad, this is violent." I was like, "I'm sorry, I thought it was rated E." Anyways, but it's really cool. I really, really like it. The artwork is amazing, has that Hollow Knight feel, like the hand-drawn kind of look. There are some areas that have like 3D models, especially for this, in the lore, there's these, I can't remember what they call them, these roots in the world that grow from like the sunlight. And they're all 3D models, whereas the rest of the game primarily is 2D. And I don't love the 3D effect quite as much, but it does make them pop and stand out. There's a lot of lore. These characters talk a lot more than like in Hollow Knight, which I like. It's not so much that it's like super annoying. There's also these like cool comic book looking panel scenes and stuff. It's just really, really excellent. The name of the game is Nine Souls because there are 10 of these soul, kind of like the leaders of this world, and you have to hunt down the other 9. And so I've done this first one, and I'm on the second one. So it seems like there's quite a bit of game in here. I don't want to like say too much, but you do unlock like other power-ups and stuff over time. It's really, really great. I'm excited to see if it continues to hold up that level of quality, because it's been very impressive so far. Ever since I've played Hollow Knight, I've played a lot of Metroidvanias and generally been like underwhelmed by almost all of them. This is definitely the one that has captivated me the most. I would say Hollow Knight for me is like a 10 out of 10. The next one I played that I really liked was Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. That one's probably like an, I don't know, 8.5 or something around there. I like this one better than that so far, but lots of game left, so we'll see. I like the sci-fi vibe of it too. There's lots of like robot creatures instead of like being in a bug kingdom. It's also like kung fu, kind of taekwondo based as well. Where sometimes I'll just stand there and press the parry button like a bunch of times, and he does like as if he was like blocking things.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Very, very, very pretty game, and it is excellent if you want a like really solid Metroidvania game, but it is hard. Just know that. You can play it on story mode. I'm not gonna, make fun of you or anything, but just know that I'm not playing it on story mode, you baby. But that's Nine Souls. It's really great, Devin. I think you will really like it and probably beat it way faster than I will, but love it, love it, love it so far. All right.
Well, that's amazing. I have no games, really. I've dabbled slightly in the new season of Fortnite, slightly in the new season of Rocket League. Fortnite does new seasons way better than Rocket League does.
Do they?
I'm not huge on buying battle passes. I prefer to buy the rare items that come in a shop. If I want anything, they're always better.
Yeah.
And when Fortnite has a new season, they introduce a new map, all these new mechanics, new enemies, a ton of stuff. Rocket League's like, This is the exact same game with one new arena.
Right.
And you're not going to get anything extra unless you get the battle pass. I guess they did give everyone a purple title. So, you know, you can have like Grand Champ titles or...
Right.
And they're like red and SSL's white. There's some special purple title called Squishy Saver.
Okay.
And everybody got that for free today or yesterday, whenever it came out. Other than that, I haven't played anything. I've been kind of...
It's only been a couple days.
Busy. Yeah. Been doing other things. And
I do feel like Fortnite is very generous with like their... If you'll dedicate a little bit of time, like it does take a little time to get through their battle pass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like a pretty consistent player of that game, you'll get all the way through it. You'll get like more, what do they call them, V-Bucks than you even put in.
Yeah.
And lots of cool like stuff as well. And even on the free tier, you get quite a few costumes and stuff.
Agreed. Yeah, this season, like Baymax is in the game, and like extra rewards are Godzilla.
Okay.
And
Godzilla. He's making such a comeback. We're going to talk about Godzilla in a little bit.
He is ugly in Fortnite. Holy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's looking weird in there.
So he's like one of the old ones, not the new Godzilla?
I feel like he's the new one with the pink scales.
Oh.
But he
just looks derpy?
Kinda, yeah.
That's funny. Cool. Well, that's all right. We've played a lot. And next week, we'll have more stuff to report on. For board games this week, I actually haven't been able to play any, so we're both continuing this haven't been able to play anything trend. So we're going to jump right to what we're excited about. For video games for me, I'm just excited to play Nine Souls. It's even put like the VR on hold a little bit for me. It's so great. I want to play that. For this week though, there are a few. Let me see if I go back to our screen. I like looking at this page from Open Critic. They have kind of a gaming calendar. So props to them. They're a great site. We can see for December, for like this week, there's not a lot later in the month, but this week there is a game here called Fantasian something. I think it's a JRPG. Fantasian Neo Dimension that I think some people are excited about. I don't know much about that, but Marvel Rivals comes out on Friday. Indiana Jones comes out on Monday. And then that remake of the Power Rangers game and the remake or remaster of Soul Reaver, what's that? Legacy of Kain comes out on Tuesday. So there's a few things coming out. But for me, it's just Nine Souls right now. Anything you're excited about, Devin, on the video game front?
I'm excited to try Nine Souls.
Yeah.
It's a busy season. I don't know how much I'll get to it in the next
If you start it, you will finish it.
Oh, probably.
I think it'll suck you in. But so just beware.
If you build it, they will come.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. As far as board games are concerned, I've had 1, 2, 3 Black Friday orders deliver this week. And I've got a couple more coming, so I can't be stopped. We're going to go down to the table, and I'm just going to show you a few of the ones that have just barely come in that I'm excited to play this week. We're just really quickly. Snowcrest, I backed this one on Kickstarter from Grail Games. They do really great stuff. I think they're out of Australia. This is a card game, kind of about card combos. I think you'll really enjoy it, Devin. It has this really cool kind of cartoony animal art style as well. 45 minutes, 14 plus. Excited for that one. And then I got Ishtar. This is a Bruno Cathala game. I generally like his designs. Got this one on a really great deal. And so I've been excited to try that one out too. Also got Bill Nye the Science Guy, the board game. Just kidding. This is Cellulose, a plant cell biology game. This company, Genius Games, they make board games kind of around like a scientific theme, so that it's like supposed to be scientifically kind of accurate and you can learn something while you're playing. So this one's kind of about the...
I almost brought that up earlier when you were talking about the electrician simulator. I was like, they should make college credits through VR.
I'm sure they will eventually.
Yeah.
It's like
so, what a perfect way to learn.
Exactly, because you're actually having fun while you're learning. Yeah. But this one is about like growing this plant, I think, and then you're inside the plant on this board, like looking at the cells and the, what do they call it? The
mitochondria
is the powerhouse of the cell.
Absolutely.
That's probably what the game's about. It's supposed to be pretty good.
You're the mitochondria of this podcast.
What does that make you? Are you the, what are the other pieces? Let's see.
Is there anything that has no purpose?
The enzyme production, the starch, oh, the cell wall, or I can't read them. They're too small there. Stome. Oh yeah, there's a mitochondria. It's this purple guy right here. That's a mitochondria. Powerhouse of the cell. So I've wanted that one for a while. I got River Valley Glassworks. This is a very cute looking game. Pretty simple one where you're drafting these really cool looking like stones from this river. And the river, whichever one you take, that piece will go to the beginning and then kind of push them down. So all of them will eventually end up like in the lake. You're trying to get the best sets. Pretty simple game. I think it says 25 minutes on here, so it's like a simple one you can play with the family. Very pretty pieces, nice bag, pretty cool. Excited to try that one. And then this one just kind of came out of nowhere. I got it for an uber good deal, and I'm actually really excited to play it. It's a push your luck game where on like the end of each round, a bunch of these dice are going to be rolled, and whatever the total of all the dice are, the sum, you're going to look at that number, and it's going to be in between the range of one of these 7 boats out here. So this boat, for example, says, what does it say, 20 to 23. And if that was the total and you would put your piece there, then you win the fruit from that boat. And if you ever get all 5 fruit, you win. So it's a race to do that. And so you're manipulating the pool of dice. Like you start with 4 dice of your color and 1 white one, and you're trying to decide like which dice do I want to put in the pool, because they're all going to be rolled, and the dice are different sizes. You got like a D4, a D6, a D10, and a D8 maybe, or 12. I don't remember what the other one is. So really simple game, just about putting stuff out, hoping the dice roll in your favor. Seems pretty fun. I'm excited. And then 2 little ones. We got Jekyll versus Hyde. This is a 2-player trick-taking game. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. It's hard to do. Doesn't happen very often. 2-player trick-taking games. But this one is one of those. One player plays as Dr. Jekyll, and he's trying to, I think, keep balance by winning and losing the same number of tricks, if possible. The other player is playing as Hyde and wants to win them all. Or lose them all. Like one of those 2. And so whoever can do that better wins on that one. It's supposed to be good. 2 players, tiny box, 20 minutes. And then last up, theme I don't really care about, but this is an all-play game, and they're kind of square box line, the same box line that I dropped on your head a few weeks ago, Devin. You don't remember that?
No.
I stood up to grab my stack of boxes. I have this size right there, and I dropped one of them like on your head.
Oh, I feel like I briefly remember. I probably don't remember because I got hit so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Put you in that coma recut that we talked about earlier. This is a game about fashion, but it's not. I mean, that is the theme. I kind of want to show you. I think it's a cool idea. Let me see if I can find the cards. They're right here. Every player has 2 of these cards in their hand, and then they're going to have a bunch of other cards. They won't have these ones per se, but I'll just pretend. And there will be 3 stacks of cards on the table that you're going to bid or auction for, and you auction for all of them at the same time. So you'll take your cards and decide, am I going to put them on the left side to bid for New York, between these 2 cards to bid for Paris, the middle column, or on the right side to bid for Tokyo. So you can split them up however you want, and then you'll reveal them, and whoever bid the most in each one will win. And so you're doing kind of 3 auctions at the same time with these divider cards. It's supposed to be really fun. Even though I don't care for the theme, like at all, a lot of people have said it's just a great auction game. So excited to try that one too. Whew. And that, I think, is the group there of games that have come in this week that I'm excited to try. All right, Devin, Jumping into the new placement for the news mini-nuke. There's not a ton of news this week, but there was a couple of things. So we're going to go back up to the screen. I'm going to hop over here, open this link. Kind of the biggest thing, there were a couple announcements of studios closing. Ilphonic, who I think made that Predator Hunting Ground game that we talked about earlier, they're closing down, I think, or at least letting go of their workforce. And this was the big one. Ubisoft has decided to close down X-Defiant, which is their kind of first-person shooter that just launched, I think, about 6 months ago. You actually cannot sign up at this point today to play it. If you're a new player. If you've played before, you can continue to play through, I think they said June 5th. And I just stepped on my keyboard, so hopefully that didn't mess anything up. It didn't. So if you played before and want to continue, you can through June 5th. But they're shutting down the marketplace, so you can't make like in-game purchases, but you can still play with, and they're issuing refunds of people that bought like the season passes and stuff. Basically, the game is shutting down. It's kind of crazy. Just kind of reinforces how much competition there is in that space. If you're
this came out recently, didn't it?
6 months ago. Mm-hmm.
You probably just said that, but I was just staring at it thinking, okay. I know what this is.
Yeah, and it's like if you're going to compete with Fortnite and Warzone, and man, it's hard. You got to be willing to lose hard like this did.
You almost just need to like go to Fortnite and say, hey, we would like to just like add this into your game because we know people will play your game.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's just big sharks of games.
There are.
That people will not leave. Mm-hmm. And you introduce these new ones, and all that they have going for them is that they're new.
Exactly.
And that dies off so quickly.
It really does. It's kind of like, it's like Clash. Like, there are a lot of games like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like there's very few that ever, like, take a dent out of their audience. Being first is a huge, important thing. And then, Activision and Epic have almost unlimited money that they can continue to pump into Fortnite and Call of Duty to continue to make them better. So even if X-Defiant came out 6 months ago and the team at Call of Duty was like, oh, we really like what they did here, let's put it in our next game. And I'm going to put 1,000 people on that and it'll come out next week. Like you're competing with big dogs. The big dog is going to eat you. But Ubisoft is kind of a big dog, much smaller than, some of these other entities, but they are shutting down 2 teams because of this. Ubisoft San Francisco and Ubisoft Osaka. Shout out to Push Square for putting this kind of summary together. And up to 277 people will be let go, which is a bummer. So hate it that every game can't just be a huge success, but that is how a marketplace works. There are winners and losers, unfortunately. Another little thing, kind of exciting for me. When PlayStation VR 2 first came out, it struggled to sell very well, and PlayStation and Sony were pretty quiet about it for a while, so everyone kind of thought seems like they're abandoning this thing and they're just going to move on and forget about it. But recently, since the PC adapter came out in August, and then they've had 2 really big sales. I just got mine during Black Friday for $250 off. And they've slowly over the last couple weeks started to market it again. They came out with a new trailer for hey, here's some new VR2 games coming out. And there is some big games releasing. And this new piece of tech, basically software updates that they have been working on for a long time, seems like they're getting close to it with hand tracking, where you don't even need to have the controllers in your hand. So they're demoing it this week, I think, at an Asia conference. And from the little display they have here, it can keep track of your hands and a pinch motion, a grab motion, or pointing, which is really cool. If hands can become the controllers here, that would be nice. Even though the Sense or the VR2 controllers are pretty good. They have the rumble and the, what are those triggers called? Adaptive triggers and everything. They're nice, but it does just feel slightly, I don't know if it feels more fake or less fake holding something. Because like when I'm playing Beat Saber and I'm holding something with a little bit of heft, I'm like, oh, this does feel like a lightsaber, and I slash that and it vibrates a little bit. You know, I'm like, ooh, I felt that. So I don't know. I don't mind the controllers, but cool that this is a thing. So just a small little update there. I hope it means that Sony is going to continue to iterate on this, even though it didn't sell like as gangbusters as they were hoping out of the gate. A new Gran Turismo game is coming out on Friday, but don't get your hopes up too crazy. It's actually a free version of Gran Turismo 7 called My First Gran Turismo. In doing a little research, it looks like you can unlock like up to 18 cars. And on this blog post on the PlayStation blog, it says their goal here was to just give everyone like a taste of being able to drive. And it has quite a bit in here, actually. The license center, where you can like learn how Gran Turismo works and get your driver's licenses. And they have a bunch of different ones is in there. And then they have, I think it said 3 different racing events. Yeah, 18 cars. Where did it say? 3 race events, 3 time trials, and 3 music rally stages, as well as the full suite of license tests. And it also fully supports PlayStation VR 2 because the whole game does as well. So pretty cool little feature set if you want to try out Gran Turismo. It is probably like the most impressive thing I've seen as far as a racing game. It's a little tricky for me to get uber excited about playing it though, because I'm like, okay, I've already talked about this in the past. Drive Club and Project Gotham Racing are my 2 favorite racing games ever. And they are basically, let's be pretty like Gran Turismo, but we want you to drive a little more crazy and have the handling be a little more forgiving so that you're having fun and excitement the whole time. Whereas these are pretty brutal. You got to worry about like your racing line and braking, and you'll spin out really easily. And in multiplayer, they have, which I think is a really cool system actually, but I think it's called Karma, where like how you race online will affect your karma score. And if you can be put with other racers with high karma score, basically means you're not like just slamming into other people on your online races. You're trying to race clean and fair and stuff. So if
they should do that with quick chat in games.
Yeah.
The kinder you are, you get matched up with kind people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was playing Rocket League the other day, and I was just, the whole time it was just arguing back and forth, like the entire community of Rocket League, just a bunch of babies. I was what are we doing?
I think that's a great idea. Even a Board Game Arena, where you can play board games online, it has a karma score like that. I accidentally like left a game. I don't remember what happened. My browser closed or something. And so I got a karma ding for like a few weeks, and then you have to like slowly build it back up. And I was like, man, that's a bummer because that was an accident. But at the same time, I was glad because then I'm not going to be paired with other players that just abandon games all the time. And that is a big thing in Rocket League, even like just teams forfeiting.
Oh yeah.
Which is not really fun. So I really like this system. Gran Turismo is really impressive, really cool. I think it can kind of be the racing game for anyone. If you just want to like get in there, do some races for fun, and like earn money and try to build out a crazy garage of cars. There's over 500 cars in the game, and they're like incredibly like true to life and cool. Or you can get really hardcore into like, I'm going to get the best lap time ever. I'm going to get a wheel, and then I'm going to get sponsored and become an actual racer. Like Gran Turismo does that too. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff there. So cool idea. I think it's a really fun game. I just for a while our cousins really liked this Gran Turismo, which is surprising because our one cousin doesn't generally like sports games, but I think him and his brother really played this for a while. And I think it would be really fun in groups like that. We're like, okay, we all know we're getting on to do our like race, and we're in the same race. We're all trying to race clean, so I'm not gonna like slam into you, but we're all trying our best. It's actually pretty cool. In the multiplayer mode, you have to and it's just so hardcore. You have to sign up for like a multiplayer race slot. And so like my race starts in 20 minutes. The qualifying lap starts in 10 minutes or whatever. And so there's kind of like, you sign up for races and you're in this lobby together and you're doing like the qualifying, and then you're like waiting and adjusting your car and like settings and stuff, and then your real race starts. It's like quite a cool thing. It's just like a mental commitment, in my opinion, where I've got to be wanting that.
A little too much realism, maybe, for me.
Maybe, yeah.
I am a big fan of arcade type games.
Mm-hmm.
I love to see just damage numbers and
Yeah.
fun. I like when it feels good and the mechanics are decent, but I don't need to know if my chassis was sitting 60 degrees to some direction and the engine was doing pound-feet of torque versus horsepower. I just don't know it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so I don't know. I haven't tried it. Maybe it's fantastic, but
I own it, so you could try it out.
I could try it.
And you could. It's I think it's really incredible, but again, it's you have to be in the right mood. And I think when you try it, you'll either be like, "Oh, I love this mood and I want to be more in this mood."
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll be like, "Yep, really cool, just not for me." And either way, you can try for free. So that's my first Gran Turismo on Friday, I believe, December 6th. All right, next up at the end of the year, PlayStation and Xbox do their like year in review kind of thing where you can put in your username and it'll spit out like you played this many games and got this many trophies or whatever. Xbox's is that's a hard word to say. Xbox is up right now. Xbox year in review. I don't play on an Xbox, so I didn't fill mine out, but just a heads up there. You can fill that out if you would like. I don't think PlayStation's is available at this moment, but just wanted to give that a call out. All right, Devin, I think that's all for the news.
That is all for news. Movie and show news. I have one thing I do want to talk about in movies.
Cool.
Just very, very briefly. Nosferatu drops on Christmas.
It does.
I've watched at least one of the earlier ones. I think there's multiple. I think there's really early Nosferatu.
There's a super old one. It's like 100 years ago.
And I haven't seen much for it, but I've seen a couple people who claim they got way early access screenings, and they said it's as good as everyone thinks it's going to be.
It's a very famous.
So I'm stoked.
Well, I don't know if famous is the right word. Very well-loved horror director wrote and is directing this movie. I think it's Robert Eggers, something. He did The Witch. Okay. And a couple other like recent movies like that. And it has some big names in it.
Have you watched The Witch?
I haven't.
Word, that's weird.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is in it. I think Bill Skarsgård is the like the vampire dude, whatever. I don't even know. Is he a vampire? I don't know what he is.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think it has some big names behind it as well. So it should be fun. Some big movies to end the year, which is common, you know. Movies want to hit Thanksgiving and Christmas so that everybody goes. Even though I heard like that Moana 2 is only like meh. It got like $220 million Thanksgiving weekend or something, which is the highest for an animated movie ever. So
oh, really?
They really want to hit those holidays if they can. So that being on Christmas will probably be a boon for that too. Just because everyone wants to do something together as a family, you know. Cool. All right, Devin. Well, that is it for the news. Throw up that first one here for me while I do this intro. That'll just help this be a tiny bit smooth for the clip out. But we're going to jump over here. All right, Devin, we are going to jump into board game crowdfunding corner. This is where we talk about all of the games, not all of them, all of the games that are interesting to me that are in crowdfunding at the moment. There are dozens and dozens and dozens basically at all times, so I can't cover all of them ever. But I think there are 7 this week that I thought looked pretty cool. A couple of them are these print and play roll and write games. So I just wanted to give a shout out to this one first. This is Space Driller. This one is €3, or if you get like the full set that comes with, I think, a couple extra maps and stuff, I think it's €7 or €8. And basically then you can print it or pull the image up on your iPad, which I've done, which works really well, because then you just turn like the iPad into a annotation mode or whatever that's called, and then you can roll some dice and play right on your iPad. But this one is kind of unique. You are rolling dice, but before you start rolling, everyone is going to kind of what's the word it uses here? It's not define, it's like command. Oh, this word is right on my. You're gonna like program. That's probably a good word. Program some directions into your driller's memory. And so the numbers 1 through 6, you're going to put on your drill in whatever order you want here. And then you're going to roll those dice. And based on what's rolled, you're going to code. You can move those directions, again, based on what you put in that ring. And you can move 4 times. And then you're going to take that shape. And that'll be like shape number 1. And then I'm going to send my digger out to do that on the main board, which is right here. And he will dig in that shape. And then on turn 2, you'll do a similar thing, kind of programming a second robot in a different shape, and then you're telling that robot to go dig somewhere. If you ever dig on the same hexagon as you've dug before, you'll lose a point. So you want to be really careful about those shapes that you're coding into your robots. Seems pretty simple, but kind of fun. I like, very picky with these print and play roll and rise because there are so many that come out, but the ones that look like a step above, high quality, I think are really cool. It's a cool system where a lot of these, like the game's ready, and after the campaign's over, you'll get the access to the files in like a week, which, for crowdfunding is very short compared to some games when after 2 years you still don't have it. So anyways, that one is what I say it was called, something driller. Oh, go faster. Space Driller has 6 days left, ends on December 11th. Next up is a game called Vestige from Orange Nebula Games. This is kind of a reworking of an earlier game that they have done that is very well loved called Vindication. But kind of taking it into a sci-fi theme, which David's all about, and trying to shorten it and kind of streamline the game just a little bit. They say that it's a medium weight Euro, and a lot of the plays you can keep to about an hour, which is pretty rare once you start getting into like complex and meaty Euro games. So just off of the kind of that note, I'm already kind of intrigued, and that it's based on Vindication. In this game, you are building kind of a tableau or a network of cards that are kind of like all your buddies in your network, and you can activate them with your cubes in here. Your cubes have this cool system where this is a double layered board, and your cubes will slide back and forth however you want to allocate them. You have like potential, and that can be allocated into influence, which can then be moved if you want to into conviction. And influence and conviction are used for different things. So you're kind of trying to decide what kind of personality do I want to like morph for my character here. You're moving around this board on the left side by placing your little piece in between 3 of these hexagons, and then you can use or basically visit one of those adjacent hexagons to do an action there. And then you can play some cards and do some stuff. Over here on the right, I guess just a little shout out, both of these boards are neoprene mats, even in the lower version. Super cool. This board on the right, they said kind of the design philosophy they had here was primary and secondary colors. So, red, yellow, and blue, combining them into a secondary color. There are 3 different primary kind of traits or something here. Ambition. I can't see. I'm like too zoomed out. I don't know what that says. Might, ambition, and courage or something. And then at the middle points between those are some secondary traits that are kind of associated with those. And you'll be putting your own cubes out there, and you can move them. And I think you have to have 1 in both of the primaries to like move them into the secondary, but then you can't split it back out. Kind of an interesting system again of like how am I going to morph kind of my personality with my character, and like what do I want to focus on. Cool system with cards all around it as well. I don't know a ton of else of it. Just watched like a short little video, read a little bit. Looks cool. The weird thing to me, Devin, and this is totally nitpicky, and maybe it's cool and they do it to stand out, but why? What looks weird about these cards?
The shape.
The shape, right? The corners are like trimmed on the bottom left and the top right corner, which I think looks cool until I throw it in a sleeve. Then am I going to hate it? I think I might hate it. But then they also sell sleeves, but I don't think their sleeves are that shape. I'm pretty sure the sleeves are just regular size. So weird decision. Maybe there's a reason that I'm not like understanding, but I think they look cool. But again, in the sleeve, I'm not sure. There are a few different editions you can get, and based on whether you like followed the campaign, they have a lot of little mini expansions of cards and stuff. I don't have the money and or bandwidth to like get a full all-in pledge at $200 of most of these games, but I do think where are the editions here? They have 2 editions of the base game. The Wretched edition is $50 and the Swanky edition is $80. The main difference there just being wooden pieces that are printed on, or these clear, what look like a cleric.
Cleric, that's amazing.
That is patent pending on that.
Patent pending. Let's get that going tonight.
Acrylic pieces. And then inside this box, there's like a couple other boxes inside and some trays inside to help you with organization and card division. I could probably accomplish that myself too. So
I'm a fan of the acrylic.
They do look cool though, huh?
They look nice.
Yeah. Do they look $30 nicer or more expensive nice?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. But it is cool. In both editions, you get the neoprene mat for both of those central boards. Double layered player boards. There's a solo mode as well called the Nemesis. And yeah, this is the Wretched edition here. Just cool pieces. I don't know. I think it looks really cool. I'm intrigued by this one. I'm nervous about... This is how they get you, right? I'm nervous about missing stuff. Because if you click on like add-ons here, you got $30 add-on. This one adds 4 playmats that are like your player playmat. I don't need that, so I can skip that one.
Oh, look how cool they are, though.
They are cool. Devin sold. Then this is a 5th and 6th player expansion for either $19 for the fancy version or $12 for the wooden version. Then you've got, if you want more playmats for the 5th and 6th player, here is a map module for $12. Has more map tokens, so more variability in the random setup. You've got a $12 module here that's more of these robot cards that you can kind of pull into your, or I think those are like passive abilities. Then a lot of these $5 12 card packs. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's at $8. It also includes 2 hollow foil chop bots. And so that was like 8 times 8 times 6 times $5 plus 3, $43 for those. And then if you want like books and sleeves and stuff. So part of me is like, this game looks really interesting. I want to just try it out and just go with the basic level. And that seems cool. They also have this cool thing they're doing, but this is how they get you.
Dude, this looks just like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it looks like a very cool
The characters look just like Cyber. Look at that.
Yeah. Cyberpunk is a genre.
Really?
Long before like Cyberpunk 2077, the video game came out.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it's meant to kind of look like it's in that, cyberpunk robot genre. I wanted to show you this is pretty cool. Free worldwide shipping if your pledge is over $100. So I'm like, okay, if you get a pledge at $101, free shipping, because the shipping is not inexpensive. If I got the $49 game, I'm adding $15. But then I'm gonna miss all those $5 card packs. It's just a lot of like content to miss, in my opinion.
Well, and you have to buy the soft vinyl buddy.
Yeah, the soft vinyl buddy. Where did he go?
He's in your cart right now.
He put himself in there. He is cool looking. Cool little robot. I think he comes in like the all-in pledge. Dex is for fun, not gameplay.
His head looks like a GoPro. Kind of.
Yeah, it kind of does. They have some bundles here. They have 3 bundles outside of those 2 editions. Spending a lot of time on this game, mostly because I think it looks cool. The Codex bundle, 190. Again, free shipping, which is cool. You get the Swanky edition, and basically they include a bunch of this other stuff. You get the free decks, the free book, and then you get all the playmats, and all of those like $5 things, except for these 4 for some reason.
Did they just name it Swanky, or are they trying to make it swanky?
No, I think that's just the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't see anything that makes this look sketch.
No. Then the gameplay all-in bundle is... Where's that the one I was looking at? No, that was Codex. Where's this next one? 136. And this is the one that's like interesting to me, because I'm like, okay, I can do without the extra playmats. I wish that they had, and again, they do this on purpose, a gameplay-only bundle of the non-swanky edition. Because
So
then
you could get really close.
Because then I think I'd be at like $105 or $106. But they don't have a bundle of that. So I don't know. It just doesn't include the swanky stuff. Basically the game trace. The 6th player expansion. Or the card sleeves. But I have my own card sleeves, so I don't need those. And then they have the all-in bundle and stuff. So lots of different ways to slice and dice that one. I think the game looks really cool. For being what kind of looks like a dry Euro with like I'm pushing cubes and pieces around on a map. I like that kind of game. But this one has a lot of character as well, with like really cool artwork, cool pieces. So I don't know. That is a Vestige. See if I can get back up to the top of the page. There's a lot on this one. But that one is on GameFound until December 13th. Whew. Next up, Devin, is a smaller game called Knitting Circle. This is from Flat Out Games. They, in my opinion, this is a really cool thing they do. Basically, all of their campaigns are $29, which is and it's like a full-blown game, and it's a solid price for a board game on crowdfunding, in my opinion. They have done a ton of really good games. Calico, Cascadia, and Verdant are all listed here on the page. I have Fit to Print, Deep Dive, and Point City from them. This is a new game in the Calico universe, basically, with the same cat and artwork from Calico. This one looks more interesting, though. Calico is a little bit mean of a game. In this one, you are drafting these tiles of, what would you call that, yarn, I guess? And let me see if I can find, yeah, yarn tiles, and they're double-sided for different kinds of yarn, and the different sides and colors can only be used to build certain types of garments. It could be mittens or socks, and you're putting them in different patterns or color blocks to score points. Kind of gives me like, I mean, it's got the drafting vibe for sure, because there's the central board, or is it how to play here, where you move your cat 1 or 2 spots and then take a token from wherever you stopped. So you're doing that, but you're also on your own board. You can like swap some out or discard one in order to flip one over, and you're spending your buttons. So it's kind of a Azul kind of level puzzle of how am I going to knit the best stuff. I think it looks cool. I'm more interested in this one than I was in Calico. So excited about that one. I'll probably wait for retail though, but I do think it looks good. That one is Knitting Circle from Flat Out Games, and it is on Kickstarter again until the 13th. A lot of them ending next Friday. Okay, for our second print and play game of the week, this one is from, what's the name of this company? Postmark Games. And I think they do the highest level of print and play games available by far. And they're pretty well regarded in that effect. I think even Shut Up and Sit Down have like praised their stuff on their channel, which is like a big deal. So these guys are great. This one is $6, and it is a game where, again, you print a sheet. There's no cutting or anything, and then you just bring your own deck of 52 cards. I have like 30 of those, so won't need to buy any of those. And then with that deck of cards, you're doing a dungeon crawl by putting cards on the right side of your board, and the randomization of the cards, because you'll shuffle, obviously, and then draw from the top, will kind of decide what items you can get, what enemies you're fighting, and you have to kind of work within those boundaries. And like the wounds that you take, the equipment that you have is slotted under the bottom of your board. Really cool idea to try that with just a deck of regular cards. For $6, you get 2 maps and 4 different. Where is the? I think there's like a explanation here of the characters. Well, anyways, you get 2 maps and 4 characters with the $6 pledge. And let's see if it says here. Your pledge includes Map 2 and all future Season 1 content. They support their games for a long time, so like in a month they'll be like, hey, here we've got a new map. And then in another month, like, hey, here's map 4 and character number 5. They've done that with all of their games that I'm aware of. I have Voyages, which is one of my very favorites. I love that one. So this one's like a yes, I want it. And they also say that they will have it up extremely quickly after the campaign is over. So very excited to try that one. Their pedigree is kind of the reason. Matthew Dunstan and Rory Muldoon are the 2 there. So anyways, that is 52 Realms Adventures, I think is what it was called. Yeah, 52 Realms Adventures. It is on Kickstarter until Sunday, December 15th. Okay, just a couple more, I think, maybe 3, maybe 4, who knows. This one, very unique looking. I thought it looked cool. So even though I don't know if I'll get it, I wanted to give it a shout out. Coming from Japan, this is Planapita, maybe. And they say here at the beginning that it's kind of inspired by crokinole with curling and magnets. And I like those things. I love crokinole. In this one, you have, let's see, how to play here. You put your little ship around the board into where you're going to launch your piece, and then you flick it in, kind of like crokinole. And if you can control the center ring at the end of the game, you get like 5 points, 3 points, and 1 point maybe for the outer ring. But you have a few options after you flick your piece. You can decide, oh, it's 5, 4, and 3, actually. If you want to flip your piece over or not. If you flip it over, there is a magnet right near the top, and so it will kind of, oh, you can see it there, kind of stick to the board and be harder to move if you do that. Which is a cool idea. There's also this black piece, what does it say? Jammer. And he will remove all the face-up discs in the same area. So you got to avoid Jammer or move it so that other players' discs are removed. So if you're able to like push him into a different area, anyone that didn't flip their disc over will lose those. So just kind of a fun, sillier version of something like crokinole. I think it's cool that it fits in like a board game size box. Let me see if I can show the components here. So you got a box, planet board, launch pads, those discs, and then they have a little board over here for the victory points and chips that you get each round. And you can get a 5 and 6 player expansion, which does fit in the box. I don't know. I thought it looks pretty cool. I don't know if I'll get it. Again, shipping from Japan is just, it's hard. It's only $15 here, but I don't know. It looks cool. That one is Planapita, I think we decided. I decided.
Yeah, I said plain pita when I saw it.
Plain pita. Okay.
But it's probably planapita because it's one word.
Yeah, who knows? That one is on Kickstarter until Thursday, December 19th. All right, Devin. And then I think there's two more. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Both of these are big dungeon crawl cooperative games that are not usually David's cup of tea, but these two come from really big and well-liked studios, Simon, and we'll get to the other one afterwards. So I wanted to give them a shout out at least, just so that you were aware that these were going on. This is, I think, like the third main printing of Cthulhu Death May Die, which came out in 2019 and is a very well-loved game. This one is basically, I think they call it a new core box, so you don't have to have had any of the old stuff. You can start with this, and it's kind of new monsters with the same system. So there's a new core box, but there is also a really crazy Awakening Godzilla expansion. The Godzilla statue is 21.5 inches tall. So his expansion is over $200 because of that. But then they say if you use that, I think, let me click here. You can use it to, I want to see, right here, Godzilla Rising. Oh, that's where I was. Yeah, compared to the other miniatures here. He a big boy. You can play with him against the other Cthulhu miniature that was humongous from the earlier versions, like that. So if you want big old fights, then there you go. Or you could just get the new core box, which doesn't have Godzilla, but it's like their newest monsters in this system. It's called, what's it called? Forbidden. What was the name of this? Forbidden Reaches is the name of this core box. So you can also get some other expansions and I think the original stuff from seasons 1 and 2. If you like cooperative games and big like boss battler kind of things here, this one's supposed to be excellent. Again, it's usually not David's cup of tea. I would be more than happy to play it. I just I can't jump into a $310 boss battler knowing that I haven't loved one before. So anyways, that's Cthulhu Death May Die Forbidden Reaches on GameFound until December 18th. And then last one is also another cooperative boss battler, I believe. Kind of dungeon crawl here is called Enormity. And this one is from the same team, if I remember correctly, that did Aeon Trespass Legacy, I think it's called. Another big game with big pieces that I haven't played. But, this one's kind of sci-fi themed as opposed to the Cthulhu kind of theme we were seeing before. I'm sure they play very differently. This one, I think they put down here kind of their main tenets. High quality narrative, roguelike campaign, easy to get into, dark, hard lore, enormous open world, improved tactical combat. It's like an upgrade to the system that was in Aeon Trespass. 2 different versions of the game. Again, I think most people that are interested in this are probably looking at the miniatures version. They do look better than the standees for sure, but that's $50 more for those. But yeah, there's a lot of pledge levels here too. This Dead Spacer pledge, definitely a riff on Dead Space, has 5 boxes, it looks like, and it's $350. I do think the combat system and everything here looks pretty cool. Even this baseline pledge, it looks pretty cool still.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Just, again, a big company that's had success in this world before. And I just wanted to give them a shout out along with Cthulhu Death May Die, because I think a lot of people will be excited about this one, even though it's not necessarily a David game. But if you want to get it and then invite me to come play it, I would gladly play it. That is Enormity And it is on, what's this, Kickstarter until Wednesday, December 18th. All right, Devin, that is all of the games. So which of those 7 games that we just looked at is going to be Devin's pick of the week? Is it going to be one with big old minis or one of the others?
Well, that's what I was going to mention is if you're into the dungeon crawler, massive 22-inch Godzilla.
That's
By the
cool.
way, who wins that fight? Cthulhu's cool looking.
Cthulhu is cool looking.
What is he? What even is he?
I don't feel like I know enough about him to know, other than he has those creepy tentacles. I don't. What are his powers? Like Godzilla shooting the laser,
Yeah.
and screaming at you, or whatever he does. I don't know what Cthulhu does. He has wings.
Either way, he's cool. He's got wings. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say if you like those type of games, go for one of those. But I think my pick is gonna be 52 Realms.
Nice.
That was a print and play, and then to continue to support your game.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing they do there.
That's what got me. Is there'll be more to play. It's going to be inexpensive, and if you enjoy it, you'll have more content later on. And I think that's
even if you played it once and didn't enjoy it, like you spent $6. Like
exactly.
One of my goals for my board games is I want to get them to $10 a play if I can. Which is sometimes hard to do if a game costs $60. I gotta play it 6 times. Maybe I should come up with a better metric, like number of dollars per hour or something. But this one at 1 play meets David's criteria. So yeah, I'm pretty picky. Only try to back the highest quality of these roll and write ones, but Postmark Games is the highest quality of these. So I'm also very excited about that one. Since you picked that one, I'm gonna choose Vestige as my pick of the week, which is a little un-David-like to pick like a big game with expensive all-in versions as his pick of the week.
I think it's a good pick though. It's aesthetically very pleasing.
It is
to
very,
look at.
Very cool looking, and I like it when games have cool pieces that help with gameplay as opposed to having a cool piece that's just like a cool looking miniature. I think it's just because I'm more of a Euro gamer than like a dungeon crawl Ameritrash gamer. And so like the pieces here, I'm like, oh, cool neoprene boards in the middle. But it's like a Euro game on top of them. There's not a 22-inch Godzilla on this board. He might look cool on the board, but
those purple acrylic squares are looking fantastic.
They do look really nice. And I like that dual layered board where you're like sliding them around. And so yeah, I don't know. That's the kind of like fancy components that really get me like excited is oh, you got double layer boards, you got a triple layer board, baby. That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah.
So Vestige is my pick of the week. I need to look into it a little bit more and see how much I'd be missing of those like little $5 card packs, because I think I might just try the $49 version of this. I don't know, it's just hard. You get that FOMO, and then I'm like, well, free shipping. And if I get the $139 version, I get all the gameplay stuff. So I don't know. But that is my pick of the week. I think it looks the coolest. It's the one that sings most to me, other than 52 Realms, which Devin already covered. So I think those are 2 awesome picks this week. 2 ends of the cost spectrum a bit, but cool looking ones. So anyways, that's going to do it for Crowdfunding Corner for this week, December 6th, 2024, right here before the end of the year. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for the next episode. And Devin, that's going to do it for episode 36 of the podcast too. We're going to try, I know we usually have a fun ending segment here. We need more of you to write in. Please write into us on patreon.com/supergamebrothers. I'd love the ending to just be like answering write-in questions. Occasionally it might be fun to do like a list or something that we can clip out into a separate video, but I think that's kind of a fun segment in the podcast I listen to, is the closing with like 5 or 10 listener questions, because they can be really serious or they can be something really silly and you're kind of winding down. And so I don't know. We need some more of that. But we're going to try and record some other stuff here while I have Devin. And so we're going to cut this episode here. But we do really appreciate you listening, watching, wherever you're viewing this, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Please leave us a review. like the video if you can. Subscribing helps a ton. And yeah, we will see you next week for episode number 37. Till then, have a good one. Back on our faces for the last second. I think I was on our screen while we were doing that, but till next week. See you later.